Bogota, good morning, everybody. Greetings and welcome back once again. Wild and crazy, crazy and wild. You know what's going on now. We need like an intro theme song or something. Like do 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 do. You know what I mean? Greetings and welcome, everybody, to the morning drive. There's literally so much things to say right now. Good morning, Adam. What's going on? We got so much things to say. So much things to say right now. So much things to say. So much things to say. There's so many directions we can go. I love the community conversation, by the way. We keep it clean. We keep it respectful. And we have discourse. You don't have to agree. It helps to kind of source out the feelings that people harbor in their hearts, the concerns that they may have. They may be afraid to say what they're feeling. There's so much things going on, and we like children. Adults like children. Children are more kind of direct, you know. Adults, you get all of these layers, and so, you know, when I post certain things and people answer in the comment section and they go back and forth, you never know who's reading it. You know what I mean? You never know who has questions. You never know who's looking for comfort. You never know how your words can impact someone positively and negatively. Okay, so always keep that in mind. You know, be real, be truthful, but always keep in mind, like, you never know. You just never know. I could talk about that, but I want to talk about something I saw right as I was about to pull out. Welcome, everybody. Well, as I was about to pull out again, this brother be posting some stuff, boy. And I'm like, there was a thought process, you know what I mean, in the earth, as you see the title, that if something offends you, just cut it off. I talked about this before, but it keeps recycling, and I'm trying to find out if this is healthy or if it's toxic. Is it healthy? You guys tell me this morning. Is it healthy or is it toxic? The moment something offends you or someone offends you, you should cut it off. The moment a family member, a friend, the post actually says that they're tired of hearing the excuse that, oh, it's your family, or it's your friend, or it's your niece, or it's your father, it's your mother, it's your granny, it's your husband, it's your wife, it's your baby daddy, and all this stuff like this. They're tired of hearing this. And that you should just cut the person off. It's unhealthy. You should just cut them off. Now, you tell me something. I was thinking about that, because that's what I do, think. And I'm like, wait, hold on, Amuna. So imagine you go to a doctor, right? And your doctor's solution to everything that ails you is chop it off. Dr. Choppy. I'm going to call him Dr. Choppy. The minute you go to Dr. Choppy, you be like, you know what, Dr. Choppy, I'm having a pain in my foot, you know. And Dr. Choppy, they put on, cut it off. You're like, whoa, Dr. Choppy. So we're not going to diagnose the situation. We're not going to look into it. No, man, just chop it off. You know what I mean? Dr. Choppy, you know, so my lower back, you know what I mean? You go to, my lower back kind of feels stressed. Yeah, man, just chop it off. What? You be like, yo, Dr. Choppy, you are tripping. You feel me? If it was your actual body and you went in to seek that this part of you is an ailment, the first thing to chop it off is kind of sus. Okay, there's certain people in our lives that we are born with, and others we attract. And usually we attract those that vibrate with us based on those who we were born with. So we continue to make this kind of extended family based on the culture of the family, or the things that we're looking for or missing from the initial family that we had. So and then the extension family that we, like I said, attract to ourselves. The parent situation, based on the paradigm that you subscribe to, but the one that I subscribe to, puts the parents in a different category for very different reasons than everyone else. It is quite possible, Boca 12, everybody, welcome, that you have toxic parents, that you know someone who has toxic parents. So let's just deal with the parents first and then the other people, right? That you may have toxic parents. It's quite possible. There's a lot of toxic people in the world. So everybody that comes together, like we saw in that post about procreation, everybody that comes together may not have been the perfect match. You know what I'm saying? But here you are. Because these two people were the channels by which you were able to cross from the spiritual into the physical realm. The Torah says honor your parents. It doesn't say that they're perfect. It doesn't say that they will never sin. It just says for you, the person, the passenger who came into this realm through these two vehicles, there's a level of honor that you are supposed to extend to them, even though they may be off the chain. It does not mean that there cannot be boundaries created. It doesn't mean that you are not to be honest about the situation. It means that you can't lift your hand to them saying you're going to fight them, like we see on some Maury vibration. And you can't, it's not necessarily advised that you go toe-to-toe with them, or that you beef with them, or that you go beyond a certain, you feel me, a certain barrier. Some people don't feel that way. They class their parents like they class everybody else. Torah tells you there's a limit. You feel me? There's a limit. And that the Most High they will get dealt with like everybody else. It's just necessarily not you gonna be the one to do it. Now, you can be honest if you come from toxicity with your parents and say, hey, because some parents have abused their children, exploited their children, pimped their children, misdirected their children, ruined their children's life, their children's credit, put the car in the baby name, ran up the cable bill. They did all kind of foul stuff. And they very well may be toxic. So there is a level of separation that one has from the toxicity of that parent or parents. But you want your blessing because it comes with a double, it says honor your parents, but it doesn't just say that. It says honor your parents. And then it tells you why. That your days may be long upon the land which your most higher power gives you. Meaning you honoring them ultimately blessing. So if everyone has to account for their own sins, trust and believe that your parents will have to account for the way they misuse or they abuse the blessing that was given onto them. But for you to continue in your blessing, it says to honor them. So cutting off, quote, in the day of, oh, you're so toxic, I'm going to totally do this thing. You may be cutting your own life string. You, mister, you know, said the whole of your back in the street. I'm sorry, y'all. You already know. You may be compromising yourself in thinking that you're following the latest healing guru out in these streets. You heard? So that's the parents. Now, depending on your particular situation, you're going to have to find the healthiest way in which to deal with. For instance, people are in medical labs, scientists, they deal with highly explosive material, radioactive material. They deal with material that requires certain precautionary measures to interface with this particular element. Some of these materials you need to make your world go round. They're not like cut off all toxic materials. No, they're like, okay, this is a toxic material if it touches my skin, if I ingest it, if it gets in my eyes. So these are the precautionary measures that I'm going to use to interface with this particular material. There are some people that no matter how you feel, how toxic you may feel they are, you have to interface with them in some way, shape, or form. So this reality that people are fake pretending that you could create, where only the people who are in your space are everybody who loves you and everybody you love, that's not reality, man. Come on with the stuff now. Come on, get on with the get on now. You have to learn to deal with difficult people in difficult situations and move through those things to be able to say, I'm a skilled sailor. If you in the port with your boat tied to the dock, how are you a skilled sailor? Now, parents can be suspect at times. They can be good, they can be not good, okay? But if you subscribe to honor your parents, that your days may be long upon the land which the Most High your power gave you, you're probably going to have to navigate those waters a little bit differently. A little bit. Meaning, you can determine whether or not you curse them. You don't have to curse them. You don't have to be like lovey-dovey, jump in their lap so they can, stab you up emotionally. But you can separate yourself in a degree where you are not at fault. We're trying to get to the no fault when it comes to the parents conversation. Like if they off on their own accord. That's the parents. My thoughts anyway, for what it's worth. There was something else I was going to say before I go on to the other people's. How are you guys doing this morning? Oh, that's what I was going to say. It didn't start with you. What happens to people who think like, oh, I'm going to read this person and that person. What happens is usually when they have children or grandchildren, that energy that they put out, feeling justified in doing so, comes right back to them. And when it comes right back to them, they swear blind say they never did nothing wrong ever in life. They swear blind say this is unjust. They don't know whatever they did to deserve this. They give their children, good morning, sis, everything, and this is just so unjust. They forgot how they cursed their parents in their heart. They forgot how they wished whatever it is that they wished. They forgot all of these things, and when the energy returned to them, they were like, you must have the wrong person. That's me hitting on the back of the seat. So we have to be mindful in this area. I don't agree with the whole extracurricular. Oh, the second thing concerning the parents. The chances are, if your parents are toxic, to some degree, it may have seeped within you. So even if, like a cancer, it has, you cut off the limb that you feel is beyond repair, you go to Dr. Cuddy, and Dr. Cuddy goes in and does his thing. Guess what? If the cells have gone into it's metastasized and gone into other areas of your body, what you gonna do? Cut your whole body off? You're gonna have to assess how much of their toxicity has become a part of who I am and has determined that I now have become that toxic person. Like I asked on the other part, the other thing, sometimes we're cutting off all of these people, not learning what we are supposed to learn before we cut them off. And because the toxicity is within us, we're going to run into we're going to attract those similar people and have to end up being Dr. Cuddy. Oh yeah, you offended me, cut. You offended me, cut. Block, 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 cut, 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 block, block, block. And then we insulate ourselves in this false reality, and we become this, people phobe, like, you know what I mean? Where we can't handle any opposition. The moment I have some type of opposition, I crumble. You know what I mean? We should be able to get to a part to where we can articulate, in what way did you offend me? In what way do I disagree with you? Does that mean that I have to sever complete ties with you? Does that mean we need to continue discourse in this area? Does that mean that we need to just leave that portion alone? There's some people who just don't talk about, quote, religion with them, because they're so entrenched in their thought process, it always is going to lead to an argument. You feel me? What part of this conversation do we need to leave alone? Or what part of this conversation can we explore more? It is in the difficult times that we're going to begin to learn and grow. So you need to feel a bit uncomfortable. If you're comfortable with everybody around you, you're not growing. Because that intolerant person is going to teach you patience. It's not about controlling them. It's about controlling you. Sometimes we make it about the other person so much, not realizing that this is our opportunity to be like, oh, okay, why does that person get to me? Okay, maybe I have a weak spot. Maybe I have a sore spot. Maybe I have an opening somewhere. You are not going to burn if you put peroxide on your skin unless you have a cut. Right? So if the person is hydrogen peroxide and you don't have a cut, guess who's not going to be burning? So if they're able to seep in and burn you a little bit, they get to tell you, whoa, 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 I got an issue right here. You know what I mean? I may need to tighten this up. Let me go ahead and explore this. What's going on? If somebody could just say one thing and you triggered, bomb, You and your feelings, da-da-da-da-da, for the whole day, ba-ba-ba-ba. They don't know what they're talking about, you know what I mean? Keyboard banging. You got to be like, wait a minute. They don't even know me, so it's probably not even personal. So what's going on with me in this area? I know that the post yesterday triggered a lot of people. I could see it triggered a lot of people for different reasons, right? And what I found interesting about the post yesterday, so everybody, welcome to the conversation. What I found interesting is that sometimes we read through stuff for the trigger so that we can forget about everything else it says and only focus on the part that we want to talk about. Particularly in the post yesterday, the beginning said, teach your daughters. So this is the premise by which this person is making the following bullet point statements. For those who haven't seen the post, don't go over there right now. You go over there later, right? So the person is coming outside of their personal sphere, of their home, of the conversation that they had with their own child, and coming onto a public forum and telling people that this is what you should. She's giving us a statewide, region-wide curriculum of what we should, nationwide curriculum of what we, whoever has daughters, should teach them. And I found it very interesting how somebody comes on the post and was like, I think people should mind their business about people's personal business. I'm like, this whole post is not minding its business. It's telling me if I have a daughter or a girl child, what I should teach her. But I'm not so triggered where I'm like, oh, you know what, block and delete for what? So now all I got is cheerleaders? Because in this discourse, back to the topic at hand, because I just need to talk about that a little bit, because I'm like, are we listening to ourselves talk? That's another thing. A lot of times when I do these talks, I listen back after I'm done to see where did I mess up. If I messed up, you might see me in the comment section like, misquote, I messed up, or here's the source, or here's the information, because I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to myself. And sometimes we have to hear, did you just hear what you just said? You know what I mean? Did I just say that? And if we're humble enough and honest to be like, yeah, I just said that, that sounds kind of wild. Is that what I really meant? And sometimes you be like, yup, that's what I meant. And it may be coming from whatever the place is. So back to just randomly Edward Scissorhandsing people everywhere because they make you feel uncomfortable. It may not be the healthiest thing to do. We're saying it's healthy and about life and self-preservation, but really not. It's just creating an environment that you can always feel comfortable and safe and never challenged, because you may be fragile, emotionally, mentally, spiritually fragile, and you don't want to feel challenged, so you want everybody around you to agree with you. And that's just an indication, not that you're a bad person or I'm a bad person, it's just an indication that we may need some growth. The seed is not, if the seed did not have these extreme conditions, it wouldn't germinate. We need varying conditions to grow. If you give it too much water, it's going to die. If you don't give it no water, it's not going to sprout. If you give it too much sun, it's going to quail up. If you give it too much shade and you give it too much water, now it got fungus on the roots. So we need prime conditions, varying conditions to grow. It's okay. So look at that toxic person. Be like, yo, I attracted you some way. You've been in my life 20 years, 30 years. What part of this kept me coming back? What need were you filling? Have I dealt with that injury? Am I going to manifest you again, but worse? Have I become you? Like all of these questions, right? Greetings and welcome to those who have just joined us. I pray everybody's doing well. Feel free to share your thoughts. These are just mine. I say that to say I've known a lot of toxic people. At one point, I was the toxic person and justify my toxicity. And a lot of times, it's our protective mechanism. I was the queen of shut off. The queen of you don't exist. I was the queen. I'm telling y'all from experience. I was the queen of you don't exist to me. My igging game is strong. Right? I have been redeemed. Hallelujah. And what I realized, this is in my younger self. You understand these things. But what I realize is it doesn't solve anything. Because eventually, now or later, you're going to have to deal with what you did not process. Just closing the door doesn't mean you processed anything. It's like sending your child to go bed, right? You remember back in the day, you tell your child to go bathe, they in there, they close the door. They fake pretending like they bathing. Oh, you've turned the water on. Just because you in there don't mean you doing anything. You understand? So then your life keeps looping. Some of those toxic people, you're going to end up having to go back to try to understand what you need to understand and get what you need to get. It's like Eddie Murphy, I want the knife. You gotta be in there stepping on the stuff with the water in your hand, try to go to this spot to go get what you need to get to do what you gotta do. I want the knife. And then he was like, please, y'all excuse me. This is back in the day. Where he has to go like into this far off place to get this one thing, right? To do for the golden child. A lot of times, we have expectations because the person is your cousin, or because the person is your mother, or because we have these ideas in our mind that this person is supposed to be these things based on whatever, TV, books you read, movies you saw, ideas you came up with, friends you may have. We have to understand that, right? So we may go to our friend Susie's house, or his mom is over there making cookies and stuff, Betty Crocker, right? Mom Dukes is over there doing all kind of stuff, and then you go back to your crib and you be like, psh, well, Betty's mom. So now in your mind you have these competing thoughts about what moms are supposed to do, right? And who they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to act. Betty fell off her bike. Her mom like ran up to her and put the band-aid on. It was like, oh, Betty. And she held Betty tight. You fall off the bike and your mom, man, get yourself up, man. Stop acting like a little punk. And get your behind inside. You're like, whoa, dang, this don't feel right. Betty's mom makes you feel all warm and fuzzy, and your mom's is sus. So you start building up a resentment for what? Your mother. You know what I mean? And you're like, when I grow up, you realize, and I'm thinking, my mother was toxic. This is the person saying it in their mind, right? Yeah, I'm a little turned up this morning. Right? And then you're like, you know what? I'm cutting you off, man. You've never been able to give me what I need. You've never been able to do what I need, what I've been asking for. And so you have no value to me. And we're only seeing the person from what they could do for us. You understand? And then you just go around doing that until it's just you. And you're like, wait a minute. By what standard am I measuring you? You know what I mean? Are they toxic? They very well be. Are you toxic? There's a possibility. Do you need everybody to cut you off? Or do you need to, humble yourself and take a look at yourself and begin to change? Do you just sit there and let people walk all over you? No. But people are souls that have the ability to grow and develop and evolve. There's another thing with this whole toxic conversation is that when somebody begins to evolve, we don't accept it or we don't believe it. And we try to pull them back down too. So for instance, you remember your toxic parent or your toxic brother, your toxic sister, whatever, your toxic friend. And now they begin to change. They have an epiphany. Oh, you know what I mean? They start trying to do their thing. And now you keep trying to pull them back to this space when they was who hurt you. So even if they want to grow, you are refusing to accept the changes. It's like a hotel that used to be roachy. They used to have roaches everywhere, right? Roach motel. And and they got new ownership. And they not roachy no more. But every time you pass by, they got a new name. They done painted the building. Everything. They under new leadership. Everything. And every time you pass by with friends, family, y'all remember that roachy motel? Look how long they ain't had no roaches. Why you keep telling everybody they got roaches? Look how long the roaches have been gone. So sometimes we refuse to accept the changes and the advancements that people are making because the story is juicier when we make them the bad guy. There's so much to this that that voice. All praises be to the Most High. Some of these online gurus will get us jacked up. That's all I gotta say. PSA, man. Some of these online gurus, please do not leave your common sense at home. Some of these online gurus will get us jacked up in these streets. And they're gurus, so you can't even really get to them. You know what I'm saying? They just come, hear ye, I have the announcement. You feel me? And you go around and be like, yep, I'm about to put this in my pipe and smoke it. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Next thing you know, we all jacked up, all lonely. Ed blocked everybody. Edward Scissorhand, the whole crew. You know what I mean? Yes, some people need distance. But also they need an opportunity to change. And if you never give them the opportunity to be like, yo, what's wrong? This is how you violated. And they could be like, yo, I violated you and I do it again. You'd be like, all right, that's what's up. Thank you. You feel me? So I know where to put you. I know where to recategorize you. But some people you still have to interface with because of certain contracts that you made with them, certain agreements that you made with them. So you interface with them on different levels. Some people, you already know when you about to go talk to them, you got to do your woosah like 50 times in the car. Like, Most High, allow me the serenity. You got to go into your peaceful place because you already know I'm about to get turned up. Please don't allow me to get turned up on this joker. Let me to get, you know what I mean? And then you're like, ooh, I do have self-control. Oh, okay, I can do it. I pray everybody's doing well. Welcome and good morning, peoples. Welcome and good morning. So let me see, I covered everything. Just cut them off. I covered that. Honor your mother and your father. That whole mother and father conversation is deep. It's deep. It's not easy. I see why some people recoil at the idea of being responsible for another soul. But just imagine this as I wind down because we're almost close. Imagine that there are souls on the other side waiting for the opportunity to manifest so that they can elevate their soul. And the only place that they can do it is here. So basically, it's like letting someone into school. You are at the admissions office. You work at the local university. This person wants to get a new job, a good job, a better paying job. They want to be of service to society. And you are the admissions officer. You allow people in school and you allow people not to come in school. These are the souls that are waiting for an opportunity to incarnate. Let's not even talk about reincarnate. Incarnate, because that's what we do. We come in the flesh. The soul comes in the flesh and it's born. And then you are the teacher. The male and the female are now here to teach that soul and bring them up from infantry, come straight up. This is exactly what we are doing. We do it in the physical. Yeah, you go to high school, you go to elementary, you go to pre-K, and they teach you bop, 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 bop. You, as the parent, this is your job. You are a teacher. You give another soul an opportunity to come and do what you got the opportunity to come and do. Now, some people think, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to be responsible for nobody coming to school. You know what I'm saying? Any of you jokers that try to come to school, I'm blocking your behind. You feel me? Because there's something called block control. So yeah, I enjoy open house night. You know, I like analogies. I enjoy what do they call it? Open house? Yeah, I enjoy open house because we have cookies and stuff. Y'all could get, I'm in the car, so y'all understand what open house is, right? So we come in and we having a little party in this open house, and I show you around the school, but I ain't letting none of you jokers in. I'm ripping up admissions. You know what I mean? Like, oops, one almost got through. You feel me? Woo, that was a close one. Whee! Man, when we having another open house, homie, but we ain't letting none of them jokers in. Huh? Huh? What's going on? Huh? Open house? Y'all have open house every night? What's up? Netflix and open house? What's going on? But you don't want nobody to come to school? That's what we doing now? That's what we doing now? You got a problem because it's just too much work for you? You don't like the after school assignments that you have to do? You ain't getting paid enough for this? You got the complaints of the teachers now? When we look at the reality of what if you were at the admissions door, like, yo, I know I'm about to get in now. I seen those jokers and they're like, nah. You feel me? There's something else going on the other side. Oh, mister, please don't come on my back. Mister, I am slowing up, mister. You do see me. Thank you. Thank you. When it's time for me to make this turn, I be doing yes, mister, please. Get off my back. Thank you. Hallelujah. They be riding hard on your back on that turn, boy. Anywho, let me see what you guys got going on here, and then I got to run inside. Hallelujah. My cutoff is just warming up. Warming up. It's levels. Victor says some people ready for what is in right hand, but the left hand might be uncomfortable. Let me see what else we got going on. It's levels to this. There's always levels. I can still leave them alone if they're still toxic to. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's levels. Cutoff is different than leaving somebody alone. Cutoff means you have no access to them. They have no access to you. Leave this alone there. I'll do it. They have no access to, there's no connection, even if there's still a connection. So you may physically think you're cutting them off, but spiritually, you still connected to them jokers. You ever heard of telepathy? It's real. Here, you guys. Hold on.
Hold on. Come outside.
Stop it. Get off my seat. They over here talking about, hey, you guys. Come on. Go inside. Go inside. Yeah. They still have a level of control over you. They're still living in your head. So you only just, quote, physically cut them off. But you haven't done the work that's going to support the very reason why you think you no longer needed to be controlled in connection with this person. You understand? So yeah, that's what that is. Greetings to those who have just joined us. Thank you, Centel. Thank you for tuning in. All praise be to the Most High. I pray everybody have a blessed day. I'm about to run inside right now and do what it is. Go ahead inside, babe. Go ahead. I'm coming now. And do what it is we have to do this morning. Yummy Cottage shout out all day. Y'all already know. Yummy Cottage. Yes, dear. Yes, you can. It's for me. Okay, I'll put it right here. All right. Yeah. Yeah, you're always connected. So might as well learn the lesson that you need to learn. And then you can release. Cut off versus release. There's a difference. You can release or you can go hacking away. It's your choice. With that said, everybody have a blessed day. We'll talk again. Alrighty.